macro market for crypto does look attractive. Especially for XRP, it does look gorgeous. The way the world and the new world order is being set, it looks attractive. So they can celebrate this. But then the question is, why is the price of XRP still here, even though we are trending like a million posts and going through that? Ask this question to yourself. Among this million posts on the websites online, how many of them are legit? We do see some of these being posted as recent highlight, but if you take time, go through what has been published, now you'll understand that it has been there from a long time, 2018, 2020. You will see a lot of these news from that time. So you need to understand who is putting out all these information saying this is new. But the question then becomes like, okay, I agree that the price of this asset should be sky high. Why is it not there? And why am I watching some of these other assets running crazy? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, if we take a look at XRP price and ask the question, why are we still at 0.5 instead of $5, $50? Let me take you through something. This, yes, it's a short-term chart, and it does show you we are moving lower. But remember, there are assets in the market which are doing this. And that's why people are asking, like, look at those assets. They are popping through. Why not XRP? Right? You're looking at this asset that's acro, and it does show you like it had an accumulation range, it broke higher, and it went up. Now, if you actually try and break that down into an area where you can easily understand that, say you take in acro, you go look at a macro chart, and you want to actually make sure that you understand what's happening. You did get an accumulation range, 100% for sure, but the breakout and retest did happen. Right now, that's exactly what's happening in XRP. Here, the difference is it was a macro trend line. It broke higher, it came back down, retested that, and bounced off. So that's what we are watching in XRP. So we are about to run higher. But then the question becomes like, okay, can we really understand that before it happens? Yeah, we can, because some of these assets, when they are running higher like this, say this is XDC, it did run up and it is coming back down to retest that range. It is healthy. So when you look at these assets, say before they started the run up, I shared this saying, guys, look at this. I think it's going to happen. And we followed it up as it was going higher. Now watch where the price is. We already did 300% run up. Now about XDC, if you actually look at that, you do understand the part. We call this out way early. Now, it's not just calling out it's about to run higher, because that's, FOMO kind of thing. Okay, I'm going to buy this. But sometimes you need to also look for these kind of postures. If the market shows you are about to slow down, that's also important. That's why we did go through that idea saying, okay, it's going to drop. Where is it now? It did drop 46%. So if you say XRP is not going anyway, XRP is also in the same market. And it also did drop. But look at this. XRP dropped less than other assets on a weekly, obviously, on a line chart. But if you take that on a candlestick chart, you can put the argument saying, okay, that's 43%. But it is just the same as other assets. What's the difference? You want to watch the trend. You want to watch how things are evolving. This is the same asset, XDC. What did it actually do? This was the range of accumulation. The price did consolidate inside this, gave a fake out, went back down, but it put in a new low, which was a higher low, and bounced off. Now it is retesting. It can go higher. All that's true. But what exactly is happening? Is that something we are watching in XRP? So can XRP follow this run up? Yeah, I do think so. If you take a look at this trend line, you will see it's breaking that. it come back down, retested, and form a range. This is exactly what's happening here, right? You get a fake out. Yeah, you get a fake out. But during that time, you're trending higher. Go to XRP chart. Look at the chart. I'm not drawing anything. I'm just showing you what the chart shows me. This is exactly what the price is at right this moment. So when you actually look at this, ask this question. What are you actually watching? Are you watching an asset which is running higher to the upside? I think so. If that's true, then the question becomes like, okay, what are we doing right now? Are we dropping? Are we crazy? No, I think we are trending higher. Keep this in mind. Whenever you go up, you do have profit taking. For sure, you look at XDC, go back in history, there are times when people did take great profits, moved out, and when the FOMO came back in, they entered back. They started riding it. But if you're a long-term guy, instead of trying to get this 5x, instead of trying to get another 8x, you would have stayed there and got a 25x. Now, if you are a great timer of the market, the other option is always open to you. But you really have to know when it is going to top off, when it's going to drop another 40%. Because I thought it's going to drop 42%. It dropped 46%. But you guys get the idea. You need to know where exactly this is going to drop. So that's the point here in the market. The market is making a new high. It is trying to go up in a new trend. So when you look at it on a macro, what happens is that once the monthly close comes in, you get to see what the whales are doing. You get all these retail traders, the bots, the algorithms, all of them moving out, and then you watch the market, which is maturing right now. And that's exactly where the opportunity lies. So if you're asking why is XRP not running up, that's a wrong question. It is moving up. The difference is it's not moving up at a pace which you and me really want to see. 100%. There is a ton of manipulation in the market. There is no argument with that because the whales really don't want you and me to benefit massively from this asset. So then the next question usually becomes like, okay, Dan, then if that's true, will they really allow us to make money? Yeah, they'll play with our psychology as long as possible. But then when it actually pops, the issue is we're not in that asset. That's the only way you lose the actual run up. Imagine this drop. It was crazy. It was super crazy to hold on to that asset when it's dropping 70%. But then if you had stayed on, yeah, your average down was great. And if you rode that to the upside, you made a decent gain on that one. Remember, the banks outside give you 1%, 2%. In a developing country, say 15, 20%. But this is 10x. That's 1,000% run up with all those exchanges delisting this asset. Right now, that's not the situation. So you have all the good news. You have all these exchanges relisting it. You have all the market sentiment showing you are heading to the right direction. Now, if you look at the market and ask the question like, okay, why is it not following this asset? That's a different asset. The supply-demand equation is entirely different. It's still in the payments market for sure, but as the supply is different, the price action would be different. Now you have to go look at the daily equation of how much volume is being traded in that asset. If you look at this and say, okay, that's like 700 million, that's not bad. Go look at other assets which are actually doing better. Say you saw that XLM is better, you saw that XDC is better, you look at XDC. What's the daily volume there? It's 2 million. So XRP, you cannot actually compare it with these other assets. Just with 2 million, say 3 million, say 10 million, these assets actually pop off. For XRP, you need much more volume to come in. And that's exactly why I showed you the macro picture. Now, they are showing it slowing down, and we have done that in the past before the run up. So news narrative will play out. The expectations, if you set that at the sky high level, saying these kind of news is true, you may actually get depressed a little bit for that short-term horizon. because you are not looking at the macro picture. If you do miss the macro picture, there is no hope, because you're zooming in on these downturns and saying the price is going down, 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 instead of saying it was at 0.33, the next step was 0.37, the next step was 0.42, the next step was 0.46, and the next step was 0.5. Because before you actually run up, before the crazy run up starts, it's always like this. It's always like this. You form a bottom, you put in a new high, you put in a new low, you put in a new high, you put in a new low. The trend actually changes. And then you're consistently putting in a higher low, and at one point, boom, the supply is drained in that range. There is no sellers. You have to go higher to find new sellers. So if the buyers are aggressive, you can look at who's selling. You can use any exchange, look at the footprint. Where's the sellers? Where's the buyers? What's the market volume? Who's being aggressive? Are they bidding a little lower from the current price as a buyer, or at or close to that price? If you see big volume at to or close to that price, that means the buyers are aggressive. And if you go look at XRP right now, do you really see a lot of volume at 0.48, 0.45? I really don't. That for me means it's aggressive market for buyers, not sellers. Now, if you're a pattern guy, if you're a trend-based guy, you can actually do everything. This is exactly what we just saw in XDC. You had that trend line, you broke higher, you consolidated, you started a run up, did dump first, making it a bluff, and then popped. This is what happens in the market. So all these assets, when they are running up, they're doing this. They do drop here and there, and those kind of panic should not move you out of the market. That was a 30% drop since you started the run up. Now, if you go back in history and look at a lot of different assets, you will understand the fact that historically we have done this. You have an accumulation range, you break above that, you consolidate there before you take off. Let it be Ether, let it be Cardano, all of those. Now, the next question which I would like to ask is, yeah, we all agree that XRP is now going sky high right now. It's at 0.5. But let me ask you something. There are a lot of other assets in the market which looks like this. It may bounce off, that's a probability, but it hasn't done that yet. So if you remove that and look at the price action, it is still at this range. Now, yes, we did share the thought process saying it's a support, it's going to bounce off, and it is showing the symptoms like that. But it hasn't actually started putting in a new trend. It's still trending lower. You need to actually see it putting in a higher high, higher low structure to say buyers are getting bullish in this range. So you have a ton of other assets in the market which has not started that yet. That means when the actual run starts, Bitcoin starts grinding higher, you will see XRP, XLM, XDC, all these coins which are already outrunning the market, popping through the roof. Now let's just make it fact and realistic, not just pushing the hopium. We're not saying it's running towards $1,000. What we are saying is we're going to follow the price action. We're going to look for what the market is showing us. We're going to actually say, if the price action shows you a positive sign, we'll say it's positive. If it shows you a negative one, we'll say it's negative. So this one is a positive move right now. So if you see it bouncing from this one, let's look at the higher end. The price is going to go much higher. You have the measured move here, which shows you somewhat like a 10x from this range. So put that into the numbers, you'll see all-time highs. After that, yes, it's price discovery. Once it goes like this, it's nuts. People will share all those speculative drama, all those out there. And that's when time shows that you should take some profits. If people say XRP is going to 400, XRP is going to 4,000, 40,000, you know what to do. Make sure you do take the profits. So guys, if you are looking at these kind of updates, not only for the XRP, but for a lot of different assets to get that before the market runs up, if you miss that, to follow it up once the confirmation comes in, you can always rely on the scientific investor family. That's why we put in these hours to find all these assets. It takes time, a lot of time. The market is 20,000 assets or more. To scan through all of them to find 20 assets, 50 assets, then to filter them down to 15, 20, it's hard. It takes a lot of time, but I'm there. I'm trying my best so that you guys get the idea. But don't fall for these scammers. There are people outside who are trying to use my name. Don't fall for that. I'll never call you asking money. So I really would appreciate if you guys actually would jump in and follow me. Now, keep in mind, this is XRP DNI1. Danny 1, XRP Danny 1, not DNL. The scammers are trying to do this. So if you're already in and you're following me, now you know this is 3,045 followers. The other guy is different. If you're looking at that guy right now, report him or block him at least so that these guys are not taking your actual money out of you. You want to keep that with you. So guys, if you receive value for your time, please do smash that like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.